All right, Internet, this is a stick-up. Give me all your money and nobody gets hurt. Nah, I'm just kidding. This year, 2014, at Gen Con, Asmodee Editions and Repos Productions presented the second edition of Ludovic Maublanc's Cash and Guns. I'm here to tell you about the difference between the old game and the new game. And I want to make it very clear to you that they are very different games. But once you've heard about the differences, you can decide for yourself whether you're just going to pick up the new edition or you're going to keep scouring those math trades and Board Game Geek Marketplace to get your hands on the old one. Now, each edition of the game has things to recommend it, and it has things that, well, not so crazy about. Let's talk about the similarities in gameplay. I mean, they have the same soul, they have the same concept. You are gangsters, you're gathered together at your hideout after the big job, you're trying to divide the score. You do so using your toy guns and your bullet cards. Bullet cards either say click or they say bang on them, and they represent whether you've loaded your gun or not. The games are played in 8 rounds. Each round, loot is laid on the table, and you pick a card to play, and then you grab your gun. Point your gun at someone, and then players have the opportunity to look around the table, see who's pointing at them, and choose to chicken out or not. If you chicken out, you don't get a cut. If you stay and survive, you get a cut. But you might get shot. Get shot 3 times and you're dead. Dead people can't win. Each game also has special role cards, which allow you to play a more advanced version of the game, giving you some special ability that nobody else has. Neither one requires that you use the special roles, but some people like them. They add an extra layer to the game. Now, differences. Aside from the art, which is substantially different, we have some very kind of sleazy exploitation, racial stereotype art. There's no other way to say it. It's racist art on the original version. And then this very cutesy, cartoony John Kovalic art on the new edition. A lot of people are fans of John Kovalic. I think there's nothing wrong with his stuff. But personally, for me, the art of the new one isn't as evocative of the theme as the art from the old edition. But that's just me. No offense, John. One major difference: 8 players can play the new version, only 6 for the old version, unless you're prepared to put up with the extremely fiddly and extra complicated Yakuza expansion, which lets you play with up to 9 people. I don't recommend that. Now, in the original game, the loot is divided evenly by all the survivors of a round, and any money that can't be divided evenly just stays in the pot. In the new game, there is a drafting mechanism. There are always 8 cards laid out, and all 8 cards are going to get claimed. The catch is that if there are fewer people in the round, each person who survived is going to get more of the cards. The major thing that this does is it means that there's never anything left over, and you never have a situation where the survivors get nothing because what there is in the pot can't be divided. Now, there are also only 2 types of bullet cards in the new game. In the old game, you had clicks, you had bangs, and you had bang, bang, bangs. Bang, bang, bangs meant you were shooting faster than anybody else at the table, therefore you could shoot somebody before they had a chance to shoot you back. In the new game, it's just clicks and bangs. 2 people are pointing at each other and they both put bullets in, they're both going to get shot. Another addition that the new game adds is the Godfather mechanic. The Godfather has 2 main privileges in the game. Number 1, they get first choice of loot. So when you're the Godfather, you get the best stuff on the table. Number 2, they have the privilege to change someone's target. Everybody points their guns, and the Godfather says, "Hey, you, point that somewhere else." And now that player has to choose a new target. The Godfather mechanic is interesting in another way because in addition to the 8 loot cards, there's also the Godfather position that can be taken when it's your turn to draft one of the loot. Of course, a lot of people are going to be gunning for the Godfather, so maybe it's a privilege that you don't necessarily want. The final big change in the new edition is that the loot isn't just money anymore. In the old game, it was just bills. In this game, there are bills, of course, but there's also diamonds and paintings. And the person who has the most diamonds, not necessarily the most value of diamonds, but the most individual diamond cards, gets a $60,000 bonus in the form of the giant diamond. And with the paintings, the way they work is the more paintings you collect over the course of the game, the more valuable your overall collection is worth. There's also loot that isn't money at all. First aid lets you get rid of all your wounds, so if you're on death's door, boom, suddenly you're back in the game, Goomba. The clips that you can take out of the loot pile, that means that you get to take a spent bullet card back out of the discard pile, and now, maybe, you've got another bang at your disposal. In the end, the games have the same heart and soul, but they get to the destination using a variety of very different rules. I own the original game. I'm not going to buy the new one, but that's because I own this one. If I didn't own this one, I would absolutely go out and get the new edition. If you have played the original and you really loved it, by all means, go looking for a used copy somewhere on the internet. But as long as you're not married to the old mechanics, I think you're going to find that the new version is really satisfying and still a lot of fun to play.